Good morning. I'm getting ready to go on a trip to Texas, and I thought this would be a really good opportunity to share with you guys how I pack a little travel art kit so that when I am on the go, I always have some way to be creating. So one of the first things that I have is this Winsor Newton watercolor kit. Open it up for you here. And it comes with this, it's kind of like an aqua pen brush, so you can fill this little compartment here with water, and then it has a brush tip and you can clean it. And then it has these colors that you have to choose from, so you have just a very simple palette, and then you can do your mixing up here. So this is one great way to be able to have your supplies on the go. And they have all kinds of brands. You don't have to use Winsor Newton necessarily. I just liked this case. I actually bought it more because of the case than the brand itself. But Winsor Newton is a pretty good brand. The other thing I usually have with me is my little kit of watercolor pencils. So I just picked up a pencil bag. I think I got this at Old Navy a few years ago. It's just filled with little watercolor pencils. So if you don't want to have to worry about anything with water on the go, sometimes I will fill everything in with the pencil, and then when I get to where I'm going, I'll add the water to it and it makes the colors more vibrant. Or I'll carry just a little container with me that has water in it. Sometimes if I just have a water bottle, I'll use the cap in the water bottle. Also in this kit, I always have a metal ruler, the kind with the cork on the back, and I'll usually have a right triangle, so if I'm doing any type of perspective sketching. And I'll just usually have a few cheap paint brushes with me. Nothing too crazy, because I usually just toss these in here and brushes can get kind of messed up. If you want to take a better quality brush with you, I would put like those little plastic caps on it here, and that will make it so that the brush doesn't get so damaged. I'll also have a pencil sharpener. Sometimes I will bring a charcoal white. It's not actually, it's more like a chalk pencil, but they call it charcoal white, which doesn't really make any sense. And then I'll usually have an eraser with me. When it comes to the surface that you're going to work on, you have so many different options. It really depends on what it is you want to do. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just have cut pieces of different kinds of drawing paper, watercolor paper, pastel paper, just whatever scraps that I had left over. Sometimes if I'm going on a big trip, I'll take a journal with me, an art journal that kind of speaks to me for whatever it's going to be. This is a fun one that I made when I went to Morocco on one of my trips. I also sometimes will take little pieces of masonite that have been primed, and those are great because sometimes people literally will buy them from me as I'm traveling. So not only am I creating when I'm traveling, I'm also selling little things that I made along the way that make it special for both me and for the person. And sometimes I'd rather have one of those little pieces that I've created of a trip that I went on for myself rather than just framing photographs. So this piece you'll notice back here is a piece I did when I was at the, I think it was in the Newbern Yacht Club, kind of in the back area there. And I just kind of sat there sketching this little section. It's also a fun way to bring your kids with you and let them share in the moment while you're just working on something. This was a fun memory that I also shared with my son. And I love putting them in these big frames. I usually have big matting and stuff with them. But this is a great example of how you can take a little travel sketch thing and create a fun piece of artwork that you can keep with you forever and just look back at it and remember what a fun time you had. During a trip to Ireland, I was visiting the Bantry house, and I decided to put one of these little art journals together. So you don't just have to work on paper, you can work in these journals. And what I did was I drew first, and then in many cases, once I got home, I ended up filling things in. But on site, there were a few places where I made some little pieces that I was able to collect and bring back with me that I do keep framed in the house. And I caught fun little memories like this little seal that was staring up at me. And I came back and worked with some pastels in my sketchbook, and I have that sweet memory that I'll always be able to cherish. On another trip up to Puget Sound, I did a few of these little sketches. And then at the Butchart Gardens in Victoria, British Columbia, I did a few little sketches on these cute little porcelain pieces that I picked up at an art shop in Friday Harbor. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope this inspires you to take your supplies in smaller quantities out and about so that you can create whenever you just feel inspired to.